Everybody, what's up? This is Jason from leanbodymovement.com. It's been a little while, maybe far too long. For me, if it's over like a week and a half, 2 weeks, then it's gone too far without an interview. So I'm happy to be back doing the interview stuff. It's going to be a great one today because people know me. If you've been following my stuff on Lean Body Movement, you know that I was a past endurance athlete, triathlete, marathoner. I loved soccer. I'm still a soccer fanatic, so naturally you think that I'd have some history of sprinting and doing plyometric work, which that's kind of what my real passion was when I was coming through as a trainer in college. My bachelor's degree, I loved plyometrics. I still do. Um, so why not have a sprinting uh, expert? Not only that, but he's a fat loss expert. It's going to be a great interview today. His name is Dennis Heenan, and he is a transformation. What's up, Dennis? He's a transformation specialist over in you said you were from your home bases.
Well, from California, but currently based in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Yep. And I remember we were speaking actually. We were actually speaking in San Diego and Las Vegas like less than 2-3 weeks ago. So yes, I should know better. He's actually pretty close to us in South Dakota, so I really am a big fan of that area. So that I'm kind of jealous. So anyway, Dennis, he is, like I said, he's had so many clients over the past several years, and he's making a big impact in his area, obviously, but he's making a bigger impact all over the world. And we're going to get into that in just a minute, and we're going to give you some cool tricks and going to maybe dispel some problems and myths that you might not have known about. We're going to talk about some energy system stuff. You know me, I'm big on the energy systems things. I love talking about those. So I'm going to stop talking because I'm probably really boring, and we'll let Dennis intro us. So how about you just go ahead and tell us a little bit about your story and how you got into this, the fitness world, and what brought you to where you are today.
Absolutely. So I grew up playing sports my whole life. I was a baseball, basketball player, and then when I got to high school, just zeroed in on basketball and started really focusing on that. My goal was to play collegiate basketball, which eventually came true. And it wasn't until after my freshman year that I realized, how big of a deal health and fitness really is. After my freshman year of basketball ended, I was 6'6", 165, and for those of you that don't know, that's rail thin. Got pushed around a lot my freshman year, so my coach wanted me to put on 25 pounds. And for me at the time, I had tried doing it in the past through high school, had zero success doing it. And the reason this was different was I had guidance. I had a mentor and my best friend push me the whole time, and I ended up putting on 30 pounds in 3 months. And that's when my own transformation. When people go through their own transformation, they kind of become obsessed with fitness, let's say, if that's what your transformation's in. And that's when my interest really sparked, because what happened during that summer was I started testing workouts myself. I started researching and learning how to eat right and doing all that stuff. And the next 3 years throughout college, I felt better than ever. I was able to stay lean all throughout the season. And what's interesting is when I look back at it, I changed small little tweaks to my training when I got to college. For example, in high school, looking back now, one of the reasons I wasn't able to add weight was, first of all, I wasn't eating properly, but second, I was doing a lot of long distance because I thought that's what I had to do to stay in basketball shape. But I quickly found out, as my coach banned me from running, basically more than a mile. He said specifically to do sprints, and like we'll get into later, that's like really the first time I've started seeing like the power of sprinting. Within weeks, I was in better basketball shape than I ever had before, and I didn't run more than 100 yards at one time. So that's kind of how my fitness journey started. I just became obsessed with it after my transformation took place, and that's when I started training people and basically studying that more than my actual business degree, although I did pay attention in that too, so I got the best of both worlds.
Nice. Great one, Dennis. Thanks for sharing. I should have mentioned that because you're definitely got a gift for your height. So that is a
Yeah.
big one. So if that gives anyone 6'6", right?
6'6".
Nice, cool. So great story there. I mean, and we're gonna get into more about sprinting and how that actually can help. Sprinting can actually increase your performance for long distance, but long distance training can't necessarily prepare you for sprinting
Mm-hmm.
because we're going to talk about energy systems and how sprinting actually has an adaptation and pushes and all three your energy systems in a positive way. So
Mm-hmm.
let's go ahead and get into that a little bit. Now you've got superhero sprints, which I am in love with. I really it was a huge hit already, but being we're friends, you're doing something for me, pretty cool. So let's go ahead and go into maybe your top misconception about sprinting, because I know you mentioned it, but how that relates to the problem that people have with their journey in fat loss and whatnot.
So there's a few. I mean, the main problem that I get when I mention sprinting to my clients is most times people think that it's going out to track or field and sprinting 100 yards as fast as you can. And although that and hill sprints are probably the two best forms of sprinting, there's definitely ways for beginners to get going in sprinting. And so how I define it is certain exercises that you do at your highest intensity for a short period of time, and then you rest and repeat. Now, there's been tons of research, and you've come across it all the time. But there's one study that really stands out to me that states the closer you work toward or at or near your anaerobic threshold, the more fat utilization occurs. And so what this means is, the harder and more intense your workout is for that short period of time, the more fat you're going to burn. And sprints allow you to do that. And the certain exercises that I place in for beginners as the sprinting exercise allows for that maximal fat utilization. So essentially, you're not using any of your lean muscle like you're doing in longer forms of cardio, which I found out in high school. Instead, when I switched over to the sprinting aspect, I was able to not only increase my powerful hormones like testosterone and growth hormone in my body, but I was able to eliminate cortisol, which eliminated all the fat storing. And sprinting is just on all levels. It's just incredible with fat burning, the lean muscle growth, being able to maintain. And I actually came across another study just recently, even after I put together the superhero sprints program that's compared a sprinting group and a long distance group. And the long distance group burned 19% lean muscle, whereas the sprinting group only burned 3% muscle and burned 97% fat, which is just, that's a huge, between the two, it's just incredible the amount of lean muscle you're burning when you're doing longer forms of cardio.
Yep, and I love that you mentioned the hormone thing. People are finally starting to turn on and realize that hormones actually have a bigger impact than anything else, even what we put in our bodies. Even this, hormones have such a huge impact, right? It's like the fuel that's in your car. You can't, if you're driving a car that runs on gasoline and you try to put diesel in it, all the internal stuff is going to be screwed up. So people need to start viewing hormones more along those lines. And once again, I'm going to just throw a gem in there. Well, maybe it's a gem. It's not mine, so I consider it a gem. You mentioned sprints and testosterone relation. When you go for high intensity exercise, like if you sprinted, right, just for 10 seconds, you're using that. You're using your phosphagen energy system. So that's actually sparking and stimulating testosterone. So if you go out and run 10 miles, you're not really going to be stimulating much testosterone. And you're going to be metabolizing a lot more proteins along with carbohydrates, and maybe, if you're lucky, fat. So that's why I actually put more fat on around my belly when I run 10 miles every day. Or when I used to. I don't anymore. So,
Yeah.
Cool, man. I'm glad that we could dive into that and kind of munch on that a little bit. So, sweet, dude. Was there anything else you had along those lines, or?
Yeah, one of the big things with when you're running the 10 miles, obviously I mentioned cortisol, but the cortisol is the fat storing hormone, which really increases. And there's a certain flow and structure that your workout takes and that your hormones take while you work out. So like when you first begin your workout, your testosterone starts pumping, and at the 15-minute and the 30-minute mark, or the 15-minute mark, it continues to increase, and then at the 30-minute mark is when it peaks. And so that's why when you're doing like the longer forms, after about the 40-minute mark, your testosterone starts to decrease, and that's when cortisol starts to increase. So that's why I have a rule that you never go past the 30 to 35-minute mark, because you want to stop when your testosterone is peaked, and then you're able to get that good food into you, and that's going to be able to replenish your muscles. And so it's like the perfect combination. You're keeping the cortisol levels low, testosterone high, and then you're getting a good meal afterwards, and it's just the perfect combo.
Right, and that's cool, and that's another cool thing, because if we can get a grip on insulin and testosterone, then everything else really falls into place if you're getting proper sleep.
Oh, absolutely.
So, that's a cool thing that I particularly love about how hormones can really work for us, and because the body's trying to, like 95% of what our bodily function is all subconscious, so it's trying to help you. You just got to do the minor things, right, to optimize that. So sweet. So let's talk about a couple of the concepts that you really nail on with your program now that you've already affected over 500. Well, if you include the people that are around your area, it's probably well over 500.
Yeah.
So because I know you use interval training and your new ICMT method. So let's talk about the ICMT method.
Yeah, so it's interval sprint metabolic training, and so what it kind of incorporates is doing a sprint exercise. So that could be anything from going out and sprinting on a track or field or a hill. It could doing double unders with a jump rope. It could be burpees as your sprint exercise, and then what you do is incorporate a metabolic circuit within that, and that can be anything from a 20 second on, 10-second off interval circuit, or it can be 4 exercises back to back to back, completing as quickly as possible. And what I do that's different and that I found works really well with my clients is what I call manipulated rest periods. And so what this does, what it is instead of saying rest for 60 seconds, I tell them to rest as long as they think they need to, and then to subtract 5 to 10 seconds. And so what this tells their body to do is, at first you need to make sure that they're pushing themselves, because with all of the workouts that I do and that I give my clients is you're trying to finish as quickly as you can. And so the shorter your rest periods, the quicker the workout's going to be. Obviously there's a few factors that I go over that, you got to make sure that you're recovered enough to keep good form and things like that. But far too many times in programs I see people taking 60-second rest periods when only a 25-second rest is needed. And so by manipulating those rest periods, you're allowing your body to stay near or closer to that anaerobic threshold, which will in turn burn more fat, and you'll be done sooner, which everyone wants these days. So,
yeah. And that's a cool thing. And you guys can answer that right now. You'd rather train less and get more results, right? Oh. People insist. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's that like old school belief that like you have to equate the amount of time to how much results you're going to get. I think that's just an old school thing from like the 80s or 70s, like workout movement. But it's actually not even. I mean, it's cool that it's not like a gimmick, right? It's actually the truth. When we go study physiology, at midnight and stuff like that, and put our time in, that's what we learn. Is that it's actually the truth, and it's sweet because that's what I do. I mean, I only train 5 to 6 hours maximum a week, but I'm able to get so much in because I've honed it down and I'm such a perfectionist that knowing what is the best and most effective way to train. So I'm glad that we can kind of feed off each other in that respect. So cool.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like when you give a client like a 20-minute workout, it's very interesting to hear them at the beginning kind of say, really, that's it? And then when they go through it, though, if you do it properly, you'll feel like you just went through like a full hour workout, or how I always like to say, it'll feel like you just sprinted the mile. And if you've ever done that, that is, your body is basically done for about a week But when you do your workouts properly, you're not only when you keep them to the short period of time, you're eliminating the risk of injury because when your body starts, pushing that hour limit, you're more apt to break form, break down, and things like that. So, but I love the short workouts. I mean, I do them all the time, and I'm able to stay in the best shape of my life, basically.
Right.
So,
Cool, man. Sweet. So let's talk about I know you've got body weight stuff incorporated, like a strength, body weight, strength. And I don't know if you have multiple stuff like a bonus with the gym stuff, but maybe touch on some more of the stuff. You got your sprint stuff, you got your the periodization, which viewers might not understand periodization, but is essentially how you progress through the program. So
mhm.
why don't you talk about that? What is involved? We got upper body, you got integration. I've seen a lot of that. So why don't you elaborate more on that?
Yeah, so the program's 3 days a week, and there's optional days to incorporate some other workouts on off days. Just because, I mean, I like working out more than 3 days a week, but also if there's a week that I don't have time, 3 days is far enough,
Yeah.
especially with these workouts. But each day is a full body, so it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, let's say. You give your body that break, that day's rest in between. But a lot of the days are more focused on either legs or upper body. So like, one day doing a body weight squat is going to be a lot less challenging than a squat jump, let's say. So, like a leg focused day will be the squat jump, whereas the upper body day might be like push-ups and burpees with a body weight squat or something like that. And there's definitely progression as you go through the program because as you get into the later weeks, you're trying to complete the workouts as quickly as you can, whereas the first few weeks are more intervals. And so you get that set rest period where, in the final stage, you might go from burpees straight into squat jumps and get no rest, because you're trying to finish as quickly as possible. And then I get questions a lot too. The program's based around body weight exercises, but you can definitely do it in the gym. I do these all the time. My two favorite sprinting ones in the gym are burpees and double unders, which for people that don't know is when the rope passes beneath your feet twice, jumping rope. And those are two exercises that, per minute will burn, close to 15 calories per minute. I think jump rope's like 19 calories per minute when you're doing it. So I'll do those as my sprinting work, and then I'll move into like, a barbell squat into maybe some dumbbell presses or something like that.
Gotcha, because I know that you are a heavy proponent on full body, conditioning. So that's sweet that
Yeah.
you implement that. A lot of people are like, oh, well, it's just lower body. Well, actually, no, it's actually everything and more. So sweet,
Yeah.
dude. Well, I want to kind of the last, unless again, I don't want to leave anything untouched. So if there's anything I'm missing, let me know. But I just have one more question for you. Um, and it's a surprise question, and I like to ask this for everybody. And you might have already been asked this before, but um, with the exception of sprinting, so we can't include sprinting in this. If you were on a desert island with maybe one palm tree, and I mean that's optional, and a client, right? What is the one piece of equipment or one modality, if you will, that you would choose? If you could only choose one, what would it be?
Ooh. Okay, aside from my body weight, because obviously the body weight, I mean, I feel like I'm one of the few people that can actually say that I love burpees. So, I mean, if you just gave me burpees, I'd be completely fine.
Yeah.
Um, but, you know, I would have to go, piece of equipment, I would have to go with a jump rope, I think,
Okay.
just
Sweet.
because I've been doing it for so long. I've been jumping rope since I was like 10 years old, and I'm like, I'm at the point now where I'm trying to beat my triple jump record. And there's just so many things that you can do with a
Yeah.
jump rope. And, if you have a jump rope in a palm tree, I can do pull-ups on the palm tree. I'm perfectly fine there.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, just because, jump ropes is a great piece of exercise equipment. You can bring it anywhere with you. Um, yeah, the only thing that I'd have trouble with is the sand. It would probably screw up my jumps a little bit, but that's all right.
There'll be patches of, like right when the shore washes up and it makes the sand hard. You
Oh
can
yeah,
do
that's true.
that.
That's true.
But anyways, and that maybe that's a little bit too detailed. But anyway, that's great. I haven't heard that one yet, but I love jump rope. I've been doing that. I've been traveling after we went back from Las Vegas. Um, I went and see some friends down in South Georgia, and I had my jump rope and my body weight, and I loved it. It was amazing. So
It's awesome. You
yeah,
know,
man.
like the thing with me is kettlebell would be, obviously is up there for me on the list, but if you're on a desert island, you got to get creative. Like I know you do in your program. You know, I incorporate a lot of different like lifting exercises, but for viewers out there, if you're ever on a desert island, just saw off a tree and you got a deadlift bar right there for you.
Yeah,
You can do a lot of different things with just things that are around the house.
true.
That's the point I'm trying to make. You can have a lot of equipment around your house that you can utilize.
Yeah, that's a big point that a lot of people surprisingly forget about. But yeah, man. Well, thanks so much for the opportunity. It's huge for me to have you on the interview. Finally, that's definitely something that I wanted to get in. Um,
Hmm.
and I'll tell you what, you already sent me, but you have a workout for us too, right? A guest workout that you're going to give us.
Yep. Yep.
Sweet,
Me putting together a nice little video for you.
sweet. That's awesome, man. Thank you for that in advance.
Yeah.
But anyways, where can we find you? Where's your hub, your main
My
headquarters?
main website is fatburningnation.com,
Okay.
and then I've got a couple different satellite sites that I post every so often on, and I got a website called Fat Burning Workouts HQ, and HQ is the headquarters, and that's where it's just straight workouts and everything, and then obviously, of course, Superhero Sprints is my program that is helping thousands now, which is just crazy to think about, but
Yep. Sweet, dude. I like to hear that. Sweet, dude.
yeah.
Sweet. So we've got Dennis Heenan from fatburningnation.com. And once again, this is Jason from leanbodymovement.com, and we will see you guys very soon. Thanks, guys.